Hi, it's February 23rd, 2016, and it's 2:41 p.m. I'm going to go over changes that I've made to the Medicine Ball web page sets that I've got. Let me right-click Medicine Ball, edit with Notepad++. Let me go into the box folder, and in the box folder I've got lots of bitmap files that are pictures of the exercises. I've got 1.html all the way to 11.html. These are external web pages that open up inside of, if I go out of box, they open up inside of medicineball.html because medicineball.html has an iframe. Go back into box again. There are three style sheets that, depending on the width of the viewport, so if I open it, or if I make it smaller, if I make it really big, the full size of the screen, there's three different style sheets that it will pick up. I have a folder called music, and if you open that folder, you have 1.mp3 all the way to 11.mp3. These are actually song files. We go back into box. Go down after that. I have some ogv, and webm files that I thought that I had to have the ogg and webm in order to get this to work, but in Chrome I only need the mp4 video or the mp3 audio. But I was testing file conversions and testing my code. I just didn't get file conversions for every single thing, just a few. Then I have JPEG files here. Again, these are more image files. I have a JavaScript, so I want to right click and show you that, edit with Notepad. So that's going to add to the list here because that's something different. MP3 files. These MP3 files are named the same as the MP3 files in music. If you notice, 1.mp3 all the way to 11.mp3. And if you go out of that folder called music into the folder called box, 1mp3 all the way to 11mp3. These MP3 files are little snippets of me reading what a particular exercise is. When we first open Medicine Ball, we see a navigation that is that goes across the top of the page, and what that does is it allows me to click on an image and then open up another web page that shows more information about that exercise. So I could create a folder and just call this folder audio snippets, and then this folder right here is called music. I could do that in the future, but as far as this video goes, I'm just going to leave everything the way it is so I don't have to change paths right now. Then I have Mp4 files, which these are all video files of me actually attempting the exercise that the model is showing in the picture. And these are video clips. These are all these videos that I keep doing of this same process. And every time I do a new set of code, I add a new layer to this Medicine Ball website, then I make a video of it and I put it on YouTube and Facebook. So this will be, what, the fifth video pertaining to this. All right, what else did I want to show? Okay, I'm going to have the Medicine Ball, which is the home page. I'm going to have the sound.javascript, which is a JavaScript file that lets us listen to these different sounds. And I want to show one out of all these 11 web pages. I want to show one because so I hit open or edit with Notepad++, so I got that tab, because 2 all the way to 11 are basically copies and pastes of 1. And the only thing that changes is the names of the images or the names of IDs or the names of MP3 audios or videos. So that's the only thing that changes. All the structure of the code's the same. And I will open up small CSS as edit with Notepad++, and the same thing with the CSSs. The small is copied and pasted into medium, and then certain things like background colors or sizes of font changes, and then it's again copied into large style CSS, and the only thing that changes is colors or sizes of things. So I don't have to go over all of those, I'll just go over one. And so basically I just showed you everything in the box folder. So again, here's the folder called Medicine Ball. If I click that folder, you get a folder called Box, and you have a file called medicineball.html, which is my home page. And inside a box is what I just showed you, all that other stuff. So everything from medicineball.html points to things in the box. That's how this works. So let me go on ahead and open up Medicine Ball. Let me run it in Chrome because Chrome works with this code, and I haven't tested it in all the other browsers, but I will. Okay, so what you're going to see initially as it's loading, medicineball.html is loading. Right now, I know because of the background being green, it's pulling the large style.css style sheet because of the width that it is. If I take it and make it more narrow, then the green will turn yellow. So now it's pulling not small but medium style.css. And if I keep on going to a really narrow one, now it's pulling small style.css. Now all you're seeing is medicineball.html. All it's got is a navigation area up here at the top, and then it's got, go to Medicine Ball. It's got a navigation, and what you can't see right here is the content area. Let me get out of the nav section. There's a nav section. Then there's a content tag that has an iframe in it. And you can't see anything because SRC, which means source, is set to nothing in double quotes. The only time you're going to see something in this area is when we click on one of those image links. Now, I don't want to have this tiny right now, but when I go into, you know what, instead of letting you look at the small CSS, I think it would be nicer for me to just open this up and let you look at the large one. It really doesn't make a difference. But this way I don't have to keep opening it and closing it just to show you exactly what numbers and colors go to what style. This page will be open and it'll show you the correct style sheet. I want to go back in here, go back in Box, look for the large style CSS and hit Edit with Notepad. Not that big of a difference. Okay. So here's our home page, medicineball.html. Let's go over the code. HTML, head. Link rel equals shortcut icon href equals box / 8-pound medicineball.ico type equals image / x icon. What this snippet of code does is gives me this little image up here in Google Chrome tab that is a picture of my medicine ball. The title tags with the words medicine ball. This shows the words medicine ball right next to that little icon. Again, this stuff goes in the browser's tab. Here's our first link. Link rel equals style sheet media equals screen and min width 1 pixel and max width 700 pixels href equals box / small style.css. When this viewport is skinnier and it's got the orange background, it's pulling small style.css out of the box folder, and it's utilizing it. Here's the second potential link. Link rel equals style sheet media equals screen and min width 701 pics and max width 1000 pics. So when the viewport is between that range of 701 to 1000 pixels, it will pick up this style sheet that's in the folder called box. As it stands currently, this page has the green background, which is using large style CSS. So link rel equals style sheet media equals screen and min width equals 1001 pixels and max width 50,000 pixels. href equals box / large style.css. So this is our large style.css. And the style for this page and for all of the pages that open up in this iframe that you can't see, this blank space right here, are all going to use this large style.css style sheet. So we have a body of margin 0 pixels, padding 0 pixels, text align center. We have where's whole thing? Medicine ball, there's the links, there's a script. We have a tag called whole thing inside of the body of the medicine ball. Oh, I forgot this though. I showed you this link that's pulling large style CSS style sheet. Then here's a script because we're actually using a JavaScript for this now. Script type equals text / JavaScript, source equals box / sound.javascript. And that's what we're going to look at right here, this big long script. End of script, end of head, end of body. Here's this tag called whole thing. So for this tag called whole thing, I have a nav tag, and inside the nav tag are all these image links, 11 of them. There's the end of the nav tag, and then we have a content tag that has an iframe inside of it, and then we have the end of the whole thing. So the whole thing has a content section with an iframe and a nav section with a bunch of image links. At the end of whole thing, we have audio tags. Again, we're in medicineball.html, our home page. We have all kinds of audio tags. Here's an audio tag, here's an audio tag, here's an audio tag, and let you guess. Well, no, let me just tell you. There's 11 of them because I have 11 image links here. They're going to open up 11 pages down here in an iframe. Well, each time I hover my mouse over any of these image links, you're going to hear me say what the exercise, the image refers to. You're also going to see a tooltip that is, we use the keyword title to give us the tooltip. So I'm going to do it right now. Let me move my speaker up so you can hear this. I'm going to hover over the first image link, and this audio with an ID of SND1 is going to play. And it has a source src equals box. So inside of the folder box, we've got 1.mp3. It's going to play that mp3 file. This right here, I don't have an OGG file for every mp3. I just have the code in here in case in the future I need to have both versions. The typing will already be in here. And here's the second audio source with a special ID. It's got to have its own ID. It has its own ID. This has to be totally different. That's why I did SND1, SND2, and SND3 all the way to SND11, because they all have to have their own exclusive names for the code to work properly. And the source, obviously, 1 MP3, 2 MP3, 3 MP3, all the way to 11 MP3. But let me go on ahead and hover over this so that you can hear this play. Triceps. All right. Triceps. Triceps. Okay, so if I actually go in and out of every single one of these, you'll hear every single one of these play. Side sweeps, lunges, ski jumps, twists, leg raises, push-ups, armchair squats, trampoline, step stool from the side, step stool from behind. Okay, so I showed you that all of these audios work. Now, this audio tag does not have the word control in the beginning. All it has is an ID, because we don't need to see an audio player with a pause button and a play button and a stop button. We don't need that for this particular scenario, because all it is giving us is a really quick what the exercise is. It's really brief. The only problem that I have with this code right now, would I need another type of JavaScript that as one plays, another one cannot play until this one stops playing. And I'll show you what that means. What it means is I can take my mouse and just slide it back and forth over all of these, just go back and forth really fast over all of these image links, and all of them will play. So here's what that sounds like. Okay, so that's kind of scary, right? We don't really want it to work that way. I want it to only pick up one MP3 file at a time. That is something that I do not have fixed yet, but it's something I'll look up how to do, and in a future video show how I fixed that problem. Every time you come up with an improvement to a web page, you wind up finding out that you need yet another improvement. Okay, so I already showed you all these audio files, all the way to 11. There's the last one. And then this is important. You only need to put this in one time, and it's right before the end body and end HTML. And it says div ID equals sound div. There's a tag. And there's an end tag to that. And then inside of that is this little thing that says BG sound ID equals sound. So you only need this in here once right before the end of the page, but every different audio snip you need its own audio tag. And again, each audio tag has its own unique ID, and we are not using the word control because we don't want to see the controls in this instance. All right, so now let me go to, what do I want to do now? Let me go to my sound JavaScript. Here's the sound.js. And here's a little note to myself that says exercise audio snips for nav. And then I go, here's a function, and this function goes from here to here. For each one of these hover events, I am going to have a different function. This function is called play clip 1. If I go back to medicine ball, let me go to my first image link. We went over the title, we went over the 3 different links to open up 3 different style sheets based on the width. This is how we point to the script itself that I'm getting ready to talk about, the sound.js, which is JavaScript, the body, the whole thing, the nav here. This is our first image link. Before I go into the JavaScript, let me go over the image link real quick. From here to here, that's the opening link tag. aref equals box/1.html target equals TV. There's the ending of that link tag, just a /a. What's in between is how you make an image link instead of a text link. Instead of putting words in here, the highlighted portion is going to give us the image instead. So we have the tag image, border equals 0, source equals box/tricep.bitmap, title equals triceps, alt equals tricep image. This is the new one, on mouse over. So when I say hover, basically the event that is giving this hover is the on mouse over event. And we're setting it equal to play clip 1 function. So where you see play clip 1 with parentheses and a semicolon, and all of that is enclosed in double quotes, on mouse over, when we mouse over this image, we're going to call this particular function. And then there's the end of that image link. So this is the whole first image link. And hovering it or on mouse over gives us play clip 1. So let's go to sound.js, function play clip 1. So let's go over the function. We have an if condition. If navigator.appName equals Microsoft Internet Explorer and navigator.app version .index of, and then you have MSIE 7, which is asking if it's Microsoft Internet Explorer 7. If it does not equal -1, or, this is the symbol for or, navigator.app version .index of, MSIE 8 does not equal -1. So this is basically asking if you're using Internet Explorer 7 or 8. Then it's asking you another if condition, if document.all. Then If that is true, then document.all.sound.source is equal to 1.mp3. So if you're using Microsoft Explorer 7 or 8, then this right here will pull the sound source 1.mp3. Else, that means you're using a different browser, you're going to do this little snip. var audio equals document.getElement by ID, and then we gave it an ID, SND1. So now it's going to pull SND1, that ID. We go back to Medicine Ball, we go back down to those audios. See, this audio is the source for this audio is in the folder called box, and it is named 1.mp3, and we gave it an ID of SND1. So when it gets the document by element by ID, the ID being SND1 is going to pull this mp3 file, the 1.mp3 file. Okay, and then it's going to get that element, and then we have the next command that says audio.play. We take this function and we copy and paste it 10 more times. So you have a total of 11 functions, and each function is going to be exactly the same, except instead of play clip 1, instead of the name of the function being play clip 1, it's play clip 2. And except for this, instead of being 1.mp3 is going to be 2mp3. And then the ID, instead of it being SND1, it's going to be SND2. And so on and so forth, all the way to 11. Oops, I went too far. Here's the 11. Function, play clip 11, blah, 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 document.all.sound.source, 11.mp3, else, var audio equals document.getElement by ID, SND11, audio.play. Okay, so those were 11 functions to play 11 different little snippets of me just saying what each exercise is when you hover over the image. Now we have added 11 more functions. These functions are going to apply to these external web pages, 1.html, 2.html, 3, all the way to 11. These are the pages that are going to open up down here in this iframe. They're going to access these next functions. These functions, instead of using little snips of me saying a particular exercise, I'm going to have songs, actual full-length songs play. So our first function, that's why I have the note to myself, songs for individual HTML page onloads. So the first function is going to go from here to here, and it's still the same syntax. It's the same thing. The only thing we're doing is we're changing the name. Instead of having play clip 1 through play clip 11, we're giving these names music 1 all the way to music 11. So our first function is function music 1, and there's all the exact same if statements. And then down here I created that folder called music, and in the folder called music I have 1.mp3 all the way to 11.mp3. And again, these are actual songs. These are Yanni songs. Just nice soft music in the background while you do your exercises. So let me just show you 1.html. 1.html is this external page that's going to open down here because I actually click on that triceps image. This 1.html has a HTML tag, a head tag, and the exact same 3 links that link to small style CSS, medium style CSS, and large style CSS. There is a difference here. We have a meta refresh tag. Meta http-equiv equals refresh, content equals 120, semicolon URL equals 2.html. What this tag does is once I open up Medicine Ball, this is open right now, I can click on any of these image tags, and once these image links open up a corresponding page down here, that page will stay open for 120 seconds, at which point it will automatically open another page. So when 1.html opens, when I click this first image link, then it will stay open down here for 120 seconds. and then it will open up 2.html. So you don't even have to click on the second exercise. 2.html will automatically open. And then after 120 seconds, 3 will automatically open, and so on and so forth. So this little piece of code is kind of cool. If you have multiple pages and you don't want the user to have to open them, you can just send it on its way and send how many seconds you want each page to stay open. This is the same exact script tag that Medicine Ball used, except for the fact that Medicine Ball, in order to access the script tag, need to go into the folder box first, because medicineball.html is outside of the folder called box. So it had to touch or point to box first, and then it could go inside of box and touch sound.js. But 1.html and all the other files are all inside of box already. So they can point to each other because they're already all inside the same box. So here at 1HTML all the way to 11, our script tag is linked this way. Script type equals text / JavaScript. So src equals just sound.js. No box here, no box /. There's the end of the head. This right here is what allows me to play a song as soon as the page opens. It says body onload equals, and we are going to call the name of a function. In this case, music1. So if I go back to the sound.js file, when I said songs for individual HTML page, we called this first function music1. So in HTML, body onload music1 means that this function that goes from here to here is going to run, which means it's going to play my song 1. It's going to play my song 1. So the function's called music1. It is going to go into the folder called music and point to 1.mp3. We gave it an element in the one HTML page called song1, and then it's going to audio.play. It's going to play it. So if I go to HTML, let me go over the code in the one HTML that's going to open down here. So we got body onload music, we have box, we have a table, and that's what happens when I click on this. It's going to open it up now. This is 1.html. If you can hear, that's one of my Yanni songs that automatically open. If you also notice, I've got green up here at the top. This is the navigation, which belongs to Medicine Ball. This yellow in the middle belongs to 1.html. These two pages, even though they have the same link that says if you have a minimum width of 1001 and a maximum width of 50,000, then you want to call the large style CSS. Somehow, because this page is opening up in an iframe, it's not really showing that it is as long as this, because you could even see where this tan box is not as long as the green navigation area is. So the only time that the actual page catches up and grabs the right style sheet is if you go even bigger. Now, so that's a problem that I need to address. Let me turn that song off for a minute. Okay, so when 2 minutes is up for this page, it will automatically jump to the side sweeps, and then it'll jump to lunges, and then it'll jump to ski jumps. So as I'm talking about the code here, you're going to see these pages move every 2 minutes to the next page. So that's another problem that I need to address, that in my 1.html, which I did try changing the minimum and maximum width to vary, hoping that I could find a perfect world so that both of these colors, both of these sheets grab the same thing at the same time, but I haven't come up with a solution yet. It would just keep jumping back from to these different colors. So my medicine ball links, the ranges, and the 1.html all the way to 11, they all have the exact same ranges until I figure out how to fix that. Okay, I need to turn this down because it's pretty music, but it's distracting me. I want to make this video quick. I already went over the meta refresh. 1.html will stay open for 120 seconds, then it bounces to 2, which you see right now. This is the second page. And I already went over the JavaScript that you don't need to call box because all of these things are already in box when the 1.html is already in box with sound.js. Medicine Ball's outside of that folder, so that's the reason we have to call box. Let's see. Oh, the music. In sound.js, sound.javascript, I already went over function playClip1 through playClip11. That's just me saying the names of it. And then here's the songs. I just went over the first function called music1, and I showed you how 1.html calls music1 in the body on load. Then we've got a box tag that we created, and if we look in large style CSS, if we look for the tag called box right here, this is the style that I gave it, float left width 100%. Then I've got a table, and if I go back to my style sheet, I'll see how I styled table. It originally had, see, now we're at the third sheet, the third web page, I mean, for 2 minutes. My table originally had a thick green solid border. I misspelled border by putting a Z in front of it because I might want to use it in the future, but right now I just didn't want the table to have a green solid border. It does, however, have a width of 100%, and there's a border collapse style here, border collapse that I Z'd out. Pay attention to the borders of the table data cells here. They're kind of thick. If I spell border collapse correctly and then refresh that and then refresh the page, watch how the let's start with do you see how the border in between each of these table data cells, it's squished in a lot closer. So that's what the border collapse will do for you. It'll collapse the borders basically. But I like my border being a little fatter, so I'm going to misspell that again and then run this again and then pay attention to the table again. See, now it's nice and fat again. It just gives it a little more white space. Okay, let me pause the music. Let's see. Where was I? It's so easy we have so many files, it's so easy to lose track of where you were. Okay, in this table, I guess I'm going to 1 HTML. I'll go back to the first one. That's this one. In this table, you have a TR, which is a table row that goes from here to here. Table TD means table data cell, call span of 2. So this right here has a call span of 2 because it takes up 2 columns. Style, this is different. I had style equals background image URL tricep.bitmap semicolon, background repeat, no repeat, semicolon, and then background size 100%, 100%. That takes this table data cell right here and allows the image to stretch from left to right and top to bottom and completely take up the space of this table data cell. Then I have a TD call span of 2 where here I am with the video raising and lowering the medicine ball, and inside that is my video tag, video controls, autoplay, loop, muted. source src equals 1.mp4, type equals video/mp4. And again, I don't have every single ogv, or webm file, but I do have the code there in case I need the conversions. The text will already be there. I won't have to type it in at that time. This is, your browser does not support this, the video tag. If you're using a browser that does not support it, you'll see those words instead. End table data cell. So we've and end row. So we've done all the code that gives us this row right here of the image and the video. The next table row is what we see right here with this green that says chest up, then behind neck, and back to chest, do 10 times. That's the next table row, and that's from there to there. Inside that table row we have one TD, one table data cell with a call span of 4. It is as long as 4 columns would be. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's that long. And there's the end of the span tag. And if you go to the large style CSS and find span right here, this is the style I gave for the span tag. Background color pound 6CB359, which is this greenish color. Float left, width 100%, padding 0 pixels, margin 0 pixels, and font size 2EM. So the text of this inside this span tag is 2 times what the browser would normally give it. That's what 2EM means. Back to the 1.html. There's the end of the table data cell, the end of the TR. So I've went over the code that gives us this little green section in the middle. And lastly, here's the table row. This last table row has 4 table data cells in it. There's one table data cell with an OL, which means ordered list, and 7 list items in between. Then you have the second one here, table data cell with an ordered list and list items. Then you have a third table data cell, same exact thing, ordered list and list items, and the fourth table data cell with an ordered list and list items. The end of the table row, the end of the table, and the end of the box. Okay, so now I've showed you the code to this particular page, and now I want to show you the code a little further down that's going to give us this little audio player right here. It's going to play the song. Each time each one of these pages open, there's a song, and down here at the bottom you could hit pause or play because of this audio control. So here's the audio control. Audio ID equals song1, because remember our sound.javascript is using the ID down here, song1. And so when this opens the next page, you're going to go down further and it's going to do function music 2. The sound source is in music folder 2.mp3, and the var audio equals document get element by ID song 2, and that goes over and over and over again 11 times so that we have 11 songs for 11 different pages. This is for song 4, for MP3. The function's called music 4. Here's the function, music 5. It pulls in the folder called music 5.mp3, and the ID that we gave it was song 5, and that goes over and over and over until we do it to the 11th one, function music 11. Sound source is in the folder music, and it's the file's called 11.mp3. Get element by ID, song 11, audio play. And so that's the whole sound.javascript file. It's just a bunch of copy and paste functions, and the only thing you're doing is changing the name of the function and where you get the sound source if you're dealing with Internet Explorer, and if you're not dealing with Internet Explorer, then you follow this else, and then you do this little ditty where you're going to get the element by ID and then use the ID, which again is down here in the audio in 1.html at the bottom after the box and after the table. The audio tag ID equals song1. Go down here and see the tag. This word is what shows us, not the tag, the player. This word controls is what gives us this player, so I can hit the pause button and not have to hear that while I'm talking. And this source again is in the folder called music, and it's the 1.mp3 in there. Again, this is for the 1.html. If I were looking at the 2.html, 3.html, all the way to 11.html, all of this would change. This would be 2mp3. This would be song 2. If it were the 11th page, this would be song 11 and music / 11.mp3 and music / .11.ogg. And finally, at the end of the audio tag, we have the same thing, this little div that the medicine ball had, div ID equals sound div, sound div, bg sound ID equals sound, and div end body end HTML. So I've went over the complete code to the medicineball.html, where each time I hover, I hear myself say triceps and I see the triceps tooltip. I hear myself say side sweeps and I see the side sweeps tooltip. I click on a page, it opens the page, and while it opens the page, I also hear a song in the background. So all of these pages are copy and paste. The only thing you change is the image that you're looking at, the video you're looking at, and the sound that's going to play in the background when the page loads. I went over a few things different. I don't think I missed a beat. I don't think I missed any code at all. Let me see. Oh, maybe I didn't go over every piece of the large style sheet. So let me just whip through that really quick. I know I went through the entire sound.javascript, all of that copy and paste stuff. I went over that. I went over all of the h1.html, went over all of that. And now let me go over all of large style CSS. I already went over some of the styles, but let me just go over all, get it over with. Body, margin 0 pixels, padding 0 pixels, text align center. Whole thing, float left, height 98%, width 98%, minimum width 420 pixels. Nav, border 7 pixels, white outset, padding bottom 5 pixels. Text align center, height 13%, background color, pound 6CB 359. The content tag, height 83%, width 99%, float left. The link tags, A, text decoration, none. The nav image, all the image tags that are inside the nav tag. Border, thick green ridge, that's all these images up here. You see they've got a thick green ridge border. Width 6%, margin right 0.6%, margin top 3 pixels, and height 89%. The box tag, float left with 100%. The table tag, anything I Z'd out doesn't apply. So this Z border thick green solid, I could just erase that. With the 100%, border collapse. I'm just gonna Z this out. I'm not going to remove the code because I might want to use that border collapse in the future. My table data cells have border 7 pixel white outset, width 25%, margin 0 pixels, padding 5 pixels, text align center, and background color tan. The original video before this one, my box image was this image right here. I gave the video a width and the image a width, and it kept the aspect ratio but gave us a bunch of space on either side or above it and below it. So the way I'm doing it now in the page itself, let me remind you how the page itself went. Here, this table row, the first TD, which is this section, I styled the image right into the TD. I gave it a background image. And because I gave it a background size of 100% and 100%, it fully fits this window. It fully fits the table data cell. So I commented that out. The box image, originally this image would have had a width of 75%. It would have maintained its aspect ratio and it would not be skewed at all, and there would be a little bit of space on the left and the right of it. I am leaving box video the way it is over here on the right. I'm not changing that at all, so I'm not commenting that out. I'm giving that a width of 42%. And then I have a span tag. That's the words inside here, like this says 10 squats. That's inside this span tag. This is the style for that. Background color, again, pound 6CB359. That's the color, this color right here, this greenish color. Float left with 100% padding, 0 pixels, margin 0 pixels, font size 2 EM. The ordered list, which is all of these things, margin left of -10 pixels. The ordered list item itself, each item, 1, 2, 3, those are each items, each list items, margin bottom 15 pixels, text align left, font size 1.5 EM. So again, this is the large style CSS. The numbers and background colors change with the smaller view. As you go smaller, and then this is going to pick up the medium one, the background's going to be yellow, and the text is going to get smaller. Everything gets smaller. Then you go even smaller yet, and that's going to grab the smallest, which is the small style CSS. So I'm not going to go over the medium style CSS and small style CSS. It's a copy and paste of this one, but some of the numbers are different. Some of the border colors are different, backgrounds, some of the percentages are different. So you can just kind of tool around that with that yourself and come up with your own 3 different style sheets based on width. And I think that's all I've got for this video. So hopefully this is a lot shorter than my last one, because my last one was an hour and a half long. That's ridiculous.